Okay, so I'm walking through the road. It's like 5 kilometers. I'm going to Butrint. I want to show you here. This is the Alipasha Castle. It doesn't have any like signs or anything, but according to the map is that. And the water here, it's very like the level is very low. So when I come back, I will try to cross it, but maybe it's not possible. So I wanted to show you ahead. Like this kind of thing is just so cool how it looks. Arriving to the Butrint archaeological site or city, and this is the tower, one of the towers for protecting the city. So yeah, it's the entrance of the city basically. Okay, as you can see, this one is the Venetian Tower. This Venetian Tower, basically the same way Romans were here and Byzantines were here in Albania, etc., etc. The Venetians, in one point, they were a strong empire, not super big, but quite important, and they took over this place and they refortified, and this is one of the contributions from them. It is very interesting. They have this kind of bridge, so medieval kind of bridge, I don't know, so they close it so people cannot go. These are the stairs, but they have this kind of space. Interesting. Okay, so this is the sanctuary of Asculapit. Oh look, there is a tortoise there, or yeah, turtle. And basically this sanctuary, that god is the god of medicine, and that sanctuary made Butrint to thrive. It was like people were attracted to this place, and eventually they made the theater here and they add some things, but at the beginning it was just the temple. This is the ancient theater, a construction of the 3rd century, later arranged according to the Roman style and equipped with the Roman scene. This area. But it's also interesting that I just saw, like, there was like a snake here, and supposedly some are poisonous. Actually, now you can see it. Oh, I think it's there. You can see the little head there. Yeah, it's very tiny. Okay, so that part, that building, was the sanctuary of the Asclepius god. And later they built this theater. Okay, and possibly it's going to be very difficult to understand, but these were Roman baths. This area right here. Yeah. Here you can see the agora from Greek times, and later the forum from Roman times. And basically it was the epicenter of the life in Butrint. And when it was like with the Greeks, it was more like commercial. When it was with the Romans, was more political. But basically was where things happen, when people used to gather and think and talk about things and make deals, of course. Okay, so this is the Gymnasium. Probably it was a pagan temple. Later it was transformed into a church, and you can see here like some sort of decoration that they had, and of course you can see these turtles. So in between there are turtles, there are snakes, and as you saw in Phoenix there are tortoises. So this area is full of biodiversity, particularly apparently reptiles. Yeah. Okay, so this was villa, like a private home. And you can see that it was like really big. Later it was transformed into a palace. For me it's very interesting sometimes to imagine like how they are actually the things, where like we come to these places and we just see the stones, etc. But like like the finishes of the thing, how it actually looked, sometimes it's very difficult to imagine. In this archaeological zone, the interesting thing is that they give you, or they show you pictures of how it was in each era, and kind of give you an idea of, oh, okay, this is how they used to live. Of course, the Roman era was very different than the medieval era, for example, and it's just very interesting to really try to imagine how it was to live in these places, right? Okay, so probably everybody that knows a little bit about Butrint knows about this baptisarium and the mosaic that is here. Unfortunately, the mosaic is covered with sand because of the lagoon that is so close from here. So sometimes the level of the water just reached this baptistry that has 8 like circles or rings that represent eternity, of course, like infinity, the number 8, and also represents salvation, and it's like a divine number. Unfortunately, yeah, it's covered by with sand. They do it to protect it from the water, but also from the wind and any kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, so this one is Lake Gate, and basically during the Roman Empire, they reinforce many areas of Butrint, including this wall. But the wall, it remained with some doors like this one, and as you can see, it's very well preserved, and it gives access to precisely the lake. Okay, so right now we are in the Great Basilica, and as you can see, it's actually very well preserved. There is also some mosaics that you can actually see here. It's very interesting. It was constructed during the Byzantine time, just as the baptistry. Very well preserved. Okay, so this area, it's part of the Lake Gate. As you can see, it has a very big wall. It's from the Hellenistic period. It was reinforced during the Roman period, as I explained before. And you can see this reminiscence of Hellenistic, and you can see these spaces, most likely to protect and watch, and maybe to shoot arrows in case of necessary, etc. It's just looking to the Butrint Lake. Okay, as you can see, this is the fortification from previous times, and you can see how big these blocks are. And basically that was the technique that they used to use, just matching the stones and just put them like a puzzle. You can see the title there, Porta e Licenit. And even the poet Virgil talked about this place, saying that it was like a little Troy. Very interesting. Okay, so we arrived to Lion's Gate, and the name is because of this. As you can see, this is a lion eating a bull. You can see here the horn, part of the eye. And basically this wasn't here when the door was built, but they put it there to make the door smaller, so it was easier to protect, yeah, all the fortification. Okay, so there is not too much to say about this area. Basically it's a mausoleum, so where people used to be buried. So we have here the Venetian Castle that was working from the 14th to the 16th century, and later it was rebuilt, and you can see that it has an amazing view. Yeah, it is a perfect place. Okay, so lastly, we are in the Triangle Castle. It's a Venetian castle. As you can see, it's a very interesting structure. It's outside of the walls of Butrint, and it was basically in one point everything started to go around this place and not the Butrint itself. And you can see it's very big, very beautiful, very interesting castle.